My bad, I was muted. Yo, yo, yo. Thank you. Thank you for tapping in to another monthly episode, Snake Prince Live. My monthly live it's not really a podcast, but it's just when I come on and just want to chop it up with people on this channel since it's been a minute since I've um transitioned Snake Cinema Podcast over to the Whiskey Bomb Network. And so I just wanted to keep doing little small things like this to keep my channel alive besides the vlogs. And if you have not watched the latest vlogs, I did drop a vlog this morning, a challenge that kind of triggered some people in certain group chats, but a challenge where I was looking for ball pythons at a reptile show that had nothing to do with DG Hypo or Clown. So if you want, check that out later. It's a good time. I had a great time at the Reptile Breeder Show, and I will be discussing that a little later. But this episode, this live, is mainly talking about Dinker projects and the positives of Dinker projects. So I will be discussing that. And if anyone in the Dinker squad particularly want to hop on, no pressure, no big deal. But if they do, the link is already in the group chat. But I just want to discuss this a little further on this channel because I'm gonna be honest. I was lied to in the beginning of my reptile keeping journey when it comes to the hobby, and I feel like it was all a manipulation tactic, and it was all, you know, big breeders did not want the little guys to know their secret, which is getting those unusual, funky, weird normals out the wild from Outback and other importers, connections, whatever you want to call. And yeah, they didn't want us to know about it, but that's how we got Orange Dream. That's how we got a lot of these snake combos that were found in the wild. They didn't just mutate out of, just random uh existing genes. Some of them were just they were just born that way, you know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get to the chats. What up? Ah, yeah. Brian, thanks for tapping in. Import Dinker Gang. Right. Of course, Ash Morph Minded. Salute, salute. Share this link out. I did share this out in some chats, but share this link out um to this channel. Share it out to your peoples so they can hop on. While we wait, before I hop into the Dinkers, let's see. I do want to talk a little bit about the Reptile Breeder Show because I did go. It's in LA, California, hosted by KG and Dia Bond Projects. And it happened this past weekend. I vended their Snake Cinema podcast, and it was a great time. For the first time, I got to be the interviewer and interview a couple of people. And thank you for everybody who stopped by the booth to be interviewed. It was a lot of fun. Y'all think podcasting at home is a lot of work. Podcasting out of town or at a reptile show with a whole lot of people around, a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of it's talk about overstimulated ADHD brain. It is hard. It is tough to be focused on your show, focus on the camera, focus on the on the screen, and focusing on what you're talking about. Because the first segment of the podcast, I was doing my usual review. I was reviewing music, and then it was hard. Like I'm reviewing albums and songs while so much things are going behind me. One guy's selling um colubrids beside me, another guy selling geckos beside me. You could hear their conversations even when I had my headphones on trying to listen to myself on the mic. It was an experience, but I had a lot of fun and I don't regret it. It was a lot of fun. And I got the Whiskey Bomb name out there, promoting the network, even promoting my own stuff, snakes and creative reptiles and stuff like that. So it was great. It was a great experience. And I won't make it to their December show because they're having another one December 6th. So if you can go to California, support them. But I will be there. I will be there next um next spring whenever they have it in the springtime because it'll give me enough time to save money and go. What up, Will? post will on. Thank you for tapping in. And yes, hit that like button, share this out, and hit that like button. I appreciate y'all. But besides the show, I did get a chance to go to KG's facility and see how they operate and how they, to see some of their breeder females, and got to see the parents and the siblings to my two LCs. They were two different clutches, but I got to see their siblings and stuff, and it was just so adorable, and it was just great, and it was very inspiring because LC Black Magic has been around for a minute, but it hasn't been overly worked yet. And even there's a lot of stuff that KG hasn't even touched and haven't even bred to them. So it's just super inspiring to see the possibilities, see what could happen. And I can't wait to see what I come up with. And the dinkers that I have are like, when I tell y'all LC gonna do work with that, gonna be work with that. So yeah, it was a great show. I highly recommend it. It's not like any other reptile show. It is so niche and boutique like, and like they had a tattoo artist tattooing people. They had a photographer doing free portraits. You didn't have to pay a dime. And you could take as many pictures as you want. You could take pictures with your snake you just bought, or like the breeders, they had snakes on their table that they're selling, but some of them had holdbacks, or some of them had snakes that they use as ambassadors for like kids to hold. Some of the breeders, the ambassador snakes, the snakes that they let kids hold, they let them go take pictures with the snake and the photographer. So it was super dope, super nice. And I really do like it. Something that nobody else thinks of. A tattoo artist at a reptile show, or a photographer to take portraits at a reptile show. Nobody thinks of that. You're not going to see stuff like that at Tinley. And if you do, they're going to be charging money. Like, no, I like what KG and D did, and I thought that was dope. Very innovative, very creative, very different. And so, yeah, I that has to be. I love Southeast Reptile Expo. Out of all the shows, that's my favorite. Um, Out the big expos, that's my favorite. Um, but in general, if I had to choose what show to go to at any given year, the reptile breeder show in LA is my jam. That's my jam. That's for me. It's not crazy. Even when they were super busy and had a lot of foot traffic, it wasn't cramped. The building was so nice and so spacious that you can move around and you can walk around without feeling claustrophobic. That's my only knock with Tinley. Tinley is great. Tinley is a vibe. Tinley is fun. But my biggest con to Tinley is the space. Tinley is way too big. They need a bigger venue, in my opinion. But that's why they got Schaumburg, and Schaumburg is dope. I enjoy Schaumburg, but yeah, that's just my only gripe with Tinley. But other shows like in Tinley S, if you ain't got no space, and I feel like I gotta push through the crowd just to look around and stuff, I ain't for it. But anywho, let's get to the main topic, Dinkers and the positives of Dinkers. Now, one person in one of the group chats I'm in asks, what is a Dinker? Because they don't know. They're new to breeding and stuff like that. And basically, Dinkers, they can come out of mutations that are already existing. Because I think for the longest they said it was something. It wasn't Scrambler, but it was something that's more recent that came out of pastel. And then there was another gene that people like, was it a puzzle? No, puzzle came out of pastel, out of a mutation out of pastel. And stranger, I believe stranger came out of something else. Like there were different morphs or genetics or line bred that kind of lace, thank you, Will, lace, that kind of came out of another known gene. But end up being different, end up making his own stuff. Um so that can happen. But the dinkers I'm referring to, the dinkers that I'm talking about this podcast, and the dinkers that I'm advocating are the straight out the wild, straight out of Africa, unknown snakes. So basically, dinkers, no matter what you call it, no matter what you think of, whether it's something that came out of another gene or something that came straight from the wild. A dinker is an unproven morph or an unproven gene that you have to work to prove it out. You have to put in that work, and that's the key word, work, to prove it out and to make it to what it is. You got to figure out if it's if it has a super. You have to figure out if it's lethal super. You have to figure out, you have to do the work and figure out if it could be a lilac with something else, if it will make an all white snake, if it, you have to do the work and figure out how it interacts with other genes, or if, like everybody knows the infamous caramel, or that has the kinks, or the infamous desert, not desert ghost, but desert, that have fertility issues that females just cannot produce. And if you work desert, you're going to be stuck with the males, and it just doesn't progress. You'll be stuck. You'll be frustrated as hell. So, Dinkers are the unproven genes that you have to figure out all that stuff before it can be proven out. And like I said, I really feel like I was lied to many, many years ago, because I've been in the reptile hobby since 2015. I may be new to breeding, but I'm not new to ball pythons. Um, the first thing I heard coming in as a keeper, the first thing I heard coming in, don't buy from Outback. Don't ever go to Outback. They sell sick snakes. They sell snakes with mites. Because they're getting them out the wild. They're getting them out of, you know, out of Africa, straight out of Africa. They're not quarantining them right. Just, you hear all these horror stories, but meanwhile, the folks who are telling you what to breed and taking all your money to buy their particular morph that they found it. They got their morph because they bought from Outback. They got their morph because they invested and put in the work with the Dinkers, the funky or unusual normals. They took the risk, but they don't want you to take the risk. And so they rather you just buy from them instead of carving your own lane. But that's my soapbox. We're talking about the positive of Dinkers. So let me save. No, let me present. Y'all know I love slideshows. So I did a little slideshow. Positive of Dinkers. So these are my positives, what I feel like. Now, some of the things listed, somebody might see it as, oh, Pixel came from the wild. That's dope. See, a lot of stuff came straight from the wild. But like I said, a lot of people are just scared to put in their work, to put in, or to, a lot of people don't even want to quarantine captive bred animals, let alone don't quarantine in a wild caught or a wild captive hatch baby. It's just pure laziness in my eyes. But that's why the big dogs are the big dogs and the little dogs are the little dogs, because the big dogs took that risk. Um, the most successful people are the people who are taking risks. Now there are a lot of little dogs out there, i.e., the Dinker Squad. Shout out Dinker Squad. We're willing to put in the risks. We're willing to take the risks. We're willing to put in the work. You get a wild caught animal and it got worms or something. Hey, there are ways to deworm a snake. There's ways to deworm a ball python. Clean its guts, keep it away from your established collection for a little minute. Make sure it's all nice and healthy. Feed it, and you're good to go. It ain't nothing to be scared about. But they say scared money don't make money. I feel like scared work don't make money, because you could get a snake for free, or you can get a snake for little investment, but it's not going to do anything if you don't put in the work for it, if you don't put in that grind, if you don't take care of it and keep it alive and make sure it breathes well. And it might not breathe the first year. It might say, fuck you. I don't want to. Don't, who's this male? Get it away from me. But you got to be willing to persist and not give up. Like Brian always say, stick to the plan. You know, And sometimes you got to pivot. You got to be, you got to, you think you're going one way, and then somebody else, like the female not go, she might reabsorb 5 times, or the male might be too scared of the females, or, but you just can't give up and throw in the towel and say this is washed, I'm done after season 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? So like Ash, he's been doing this for so many years with his malice, or like Dylan with Chernobyl. He's been doing working his Chernobyl gene for 7 years, I believe. Or it takes time and it takes work. So let's see what they're saying. Let's see. Ash said another positive is controlling the amount of the new morph made. No overbreeding. Yes, that part. That part. Let's talk about that for a second before I get to my list. And I like pastel. I have no hate with pastel, but we are so oversaturated with pastel. But here's one thing that's going to trigger a lot of people right now. We are oversaturated with clown. Nobody wants to talk about that. I got my tablet right here. Let me pull up Morph Market right quick, just for 1 second, just to prove a point to y'all. I want to prove a point to y'all right quick. Let's see. And excuse my voice. I'm losing my voice, but I just really want to put, because some people are like, oh, pastel is over, we're oversaturated. The whole hobby, we got this many pastels and ball pythons. Okay, let's go to Morph Market right quick. A lot of people don't take advantage of the features of Morph Market. Oh, let me get connected to the internet first. Can't get on Morph Market without the internet. But they be like, oh, pastel this, pastel that. Well, let's go to Morph Market. Let's go to ball pythons. Let's go to traits. Let's go to traits. And I'm finna knock it down. Clown. C's. Clown. 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 So right now it says, no, right now it says we have the numbers have gone down, but on Morph Market right now for sale, I'm not talking about sold, I'm not talking about right now, we have 35,724 ball pythons listed for sale. Let's go to trace. Let's knock that down. Let's go to clown right quick, because I'm trying to prove a point to y'all. Let's go to clown right quick. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, now let's take away. Now, right now, out of those 30, now we have 14,252 clowns in the clown trace. Now let's see if we just, and these are all different combos. Now let's go ahead and filter that. Let's filter that right quick. Instead of any trait, let's filter that to no additional traits, just by itself. Let's see. So just straight up clown by itself, nothing extra, no hits, is 248. Okay, so let's do pastel. Cause still with the combos, clowns, we still at 15,000. Let's do pastel. The point I'm making is everybody crap on pastel and say there's way too many pastels in the world, and rightfully so it is. However, it is way too many clown combos that are oversaturated. How many? Okay, these are the combinations. How many pastel combinations are there? 10,096. How many did I say was in clown? 14,000. So who's oversaturated? You get what I'm saying? Who is taking over? And this is including hits. This is including visuals. And again, and here's another thing I want to say. We're on Morph Market. We're on the traits. Let me take away all this subcategory, locality, incomplete, dominant, polygenic, others. Let me take those away and just give you recessives. It says 45 recessives listed. 45. And granted, some of these recessives are the exact same thing with different names, i.e. sentinel and paint, i.e. Zebra and whatever the heck everybody kept saying was Zebra, Mackenzie or whatever, like Enhancer DG. A lot of these, some of these could be combined. But guess what? Even if we were to combine all those, it would still be over 20 recessives. Um, but we only talk about what we hear shoved down our throats: clowns, DGs, hypos, clowns, DGs, hypos. Like those are the only recessives that exist. I'm just, Oh, Wiz, thanks for tapping in, sneaking in from work. Thank you. Let's see. But yeah, overbreeding, overpopulating. When you have a dinker that you're working with, you are in control about how many you're breeding, how many you're letting go. Letting your snakes play at the playground doesn't make them immune to the charm and immune to the charm. All right, Will. You can control the value. Yes, yes, that part as well. Now, granted, I would never spend on a snake. I would never buy the amount on a snake as I would a car. If a snake costs more than a car or a house or a mortgage, I can't do it. I can't do it. However, I'm not knocking the people who charges. I'm not judging them. I'm not saying, oh, you're wrong for charging that much money. To each his own. It is what it is. But when you have a dinker and you've worked it and you've proved it out to be a real thing, you prove that there's a super, you prove that it's not lethal, you prove that it works great with certain genes, you prove that it could be or not, it can or not be allelic with something else. You prove that it doesn't produce all white snakes if you double it up. Once you do all that, it is your playground to choose your price. It can't nobody stop you. Can't nobody tell you your price is not your price. Can't nobody, and because you control how much is in the market, the whole supply and demand is less supply, more demand. You can control all that. You can filter that how you do because it's your gene. It's your product. It's your baby. It's your project. So you control the value. The value of Stranger sunk so low because everybody went crazy with Stranger. Bringing it to everything, throwing it to everything. The value with I see it happening right now. Scrambler is still good right now, but I'm starting to see it become more and more affordable because there's more and more out there. Like the moment you release it to the masses or you release it to the cult, and we all know who that is. I ain't gotta say no names. You might as well, it's a wash. You no longer control the value of that animal. So I agree with Ash. The positive of having a dinker and working your own dinker and working your own gene and proving it out, if it happens to be proven out, you are in control about how much is being made and your price. That's a double whammy. Yes, Will said it right there. What I've been preaching and what AJ and Fred been preaching and what Ash and everybody, anybody in our core group, we've been preaching this, and it feels like we're just preaching to the choir because nobody want to listen. The market is saturated with people chasing the same clown, and there still isn't. That hasn't been done. That's true. But guess what? The market is so saturated, like Will said, with people chasing the same clown combos, and we know what they are. I ain't got to say no names. The mains, the A's, y'all know what we saying? Everybody's chasing that nobody, that now even I am turned off with it by, I don't even want it in my collection at all. I don't want those. I mean, I have one as a pet. He's a pet only because I love him and I couldn't get rid of him. But all the head clowns that I had, oh, they gone. I gave them the new homes. Thank God for the Bosa auction. Thank God for all these different auctions. I gave them away. They gone. Gave them away to people who wants to chase the clown combos. Y'all deserve it. Chase your dreams. Follow your dreams. I just don't want it with me. The only person who's still here, who ain't going nowhere, because I got him from KG, Bond Projects. He's a pet only. He going to be an educational ambassador. He might be thrown into some photo shoots. And that's my boy Kyan. He ain't going nowhere. Kyan ain't going nowhere. He's a spot-nosed clown. But guess what? He ain't getting bread. He ain't touching no females. Not in Project Dark mode. Not in my and definitely not in my Dinker projects. Nah. He ain't gonna even smell their pheromones. He in a whole nother room, in a whole nother cage with the rest of my pet quality ball pythons. Like, nah. He ain't even smell the women like, is there a girl in here? And like, nah. AJ, what it do? Think a squad? Yes. So now let me get to my list. And y'all can keep chiming in the comments, writing your positives, but let me talk about mine. Okay. Now I be crack. I don't now let me take a caveat because some people take what I say and they get offended because they think I'm judging. I'm not judging. I know this is part of the hobby and this is how we advance and this is how we grow and this is how we discover these genes. The only way you can discover whether a gene has a super is that you have to line breed. So when I crack jokes that say Game of Thrones or Hills Have Eyes, it's just all fun and games. It's all jokes. But for me personally, I feel like every once in a while we need new bloodlines. We do. We just can't keep me personally, I feel, and I've said this in my last live, if y'all have not watched it, February's live. I feel like a lot of these health issues, like the kinking, and not all the time, I'm not saying it's 100% its fault, but the kinking, the shark mouths, the bug eye, the little eyes, I feel like some of those, not all, some are incubation issues, yes, but I feel like some of those are line breed or inbred Game of Thrones issues as well, but nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to do the research to see if it's even true. Nobody wants to even have that discussion. The moment a snake comes out weird or funky or, half head, half cocked, is because they don't even want to entertain the thought that maybe it's because of line breeding. They don't even want to entertain that thought. They've run away from that conversation. And I'm not saying all kink snakes or shark mouth or bug eyes is a line bred issue. I just feel like it could contribute. Y'all can't blame everything on the incubator. I'm sorry. Y'all cannot, especially if you're incubating snakes and you have more than one clutch in there or more than one egg in there and only one baby out that clutch ended up kinked or two babies ended up kinked or out of six, or you have like 50 clutches and you can't tell me that it's always an incubate. You can't just always blame the incubators because whether it's the expensive $1,000 wheel banks or the homegrown freezer that you did, wine cooler that you did on your own, or if you let the mother maternally incubate, because I know a lot of breeders, my first mentors included, who maternally incubate their eggs and they had a greater success rate maternally incubated for over 10 years than some of y'all with y'all Mike Wilbanks incubator. So we can't sit there and blame incubation for everything. Sometimes we got to have that talk. Sometimes we got to talk that talk about these inbreds and how certain genes react. I'm not saying all genes, but certain genes react to breeding the mom to the son or the dad to the daughter or the cousin or whatever, and constantly doing it over and over again and over and over again. There's something to that. So for me personally, again, I'm not judging, but for me personally, I feel that we need some new bloodline. We do need some new bloodline in here. And that's where the Dinkers straight out of Africa or, come from. You adding new bloodline to the blood pool. You're making it stronger. I really do feel like the snakes from the wild are have stronger genetics than the ones in captivity. That's just my opinion. And I could be 1,000% wrong, but that's just my opinion. I feel like their bloodline is a lot stronger because it hasn't been diluted and mixed around yet to a lot of stuff. So I feel like the biggest positive for me is new bloodlines being added in. And I'm not saying we need to all add a new normal or new bloodline out to Africa every clutch. I'm not saying that, or every generation, but throw it in every once in a while. Kick it in there every once in a while. Like, hey, we've been breeding the sons to the cousins and the moms to the dad for 3 generations now. Let's just throw a little extra little weirdness, a little, wow blood in there, just to strengthen it up again. And even though I don't believe certain genes like acid and confusion has trouble eating and stuff like that, maybe they do. I don't know. I don't have a large sample size to say whether that's true or not. However, if it is true, maybe adding new bloodlines to some of these well-known genetics can build up their prey drive. Because snakes, generations upon generations upon generations, are used to getting these rats, used to getting these ASFs, used to getting whatever they want. They lose the spark to hunt. They lose that spark and edge to actually look for the meal and grab it and wrap it and do what they do. Maybe, I just feel like new bloodline can help with a lot of that. Just me personally. Ash said, another positive is that you can have your own unique look. A Justin, a Levance, a Aussie snake when you see it. Facts. Oh my gosh. Or a Tom Barnhart for years before shed testing has determined that they're different. You knew a Tom Barnhart black pastel versus a regular black pastel. You could just look and be like, that's that Barnhart right there. Even the clown combos. So many people are making Pompeii. So many people are making Batmans, but a Justin Batman over the next guy. I'll give him that. I'll give him that respect. That type. Ozzy with Orange Dream, or even the Mandarin. Let's talk about that because he don't get enough credit. He don't get enough flowers for me. TJ, some of y'all have to squint to look at Mandarin, other people's Mandarins. But the moment a TJ Mandarin pop up, you automatically know. My mentors bought a snake from TJ. Went to his house. They said, "No, we ain't waiting for it to be shipped. We driving to you." And when I saw it, they didn't even have to tell me. Before she told me, she said, "Guess what I got?" Before she even told me, I knew. The moment I saw it, I said, "That's a TJ Mandarin." So yeah, I agree with Ash. The positive of you get your own unique look. If you prove this Dinker out to be something different, or look, another great example, Brian, Heathen Hatchery. Brian got a yellow belly straight from Togo, out of the wild. His line is different from a lot of yellow bellies, and there's no denying it. There is no denying his yellow belly is different. And he's on the second generation now. He's putting in the work. I don't want another yellow belly in my collection until I get a Heathen Hatchery line of yellow belly straight from Togo, Africa. That line is something different. And guess what? When he eventually releases those animals out into when he eventually releases animals to the market, we gonna be saying, "Oh, that's a Brian line of yellow belly. That's a Heathen Hatchery yellow belly. That's not no regular yellow belly." So yes, I agree with Ash. That's another great positive. DJ, thanks for tapping in. What it do? They only talk about line breeding when it's positive, never the other side. Facts. For every orange dream, which is the positive, you got some negatives, which is the caramels and the deserts and there's certain genes. I know they got issues because of line breeding. You can't argue with me. You can argue with your mama, but you can't argue with me. There are certain genes that nobody wants to talk about. And there's probably certain genes that everybody loves. Everybody's chasing. Everybody wants to throw in a clown. I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm pretty sure, I am 50% sure line breeding is probably the issues that nobody wants to talk about. But I digress. DJ a fool. How you talking about Ash? Thank you. I love doing these presentations too. It's a lot of fun doing these slides. But yeah, but another positive for me, and we kind of touched on this already, is you're not following the crowd or the cult when you're working Dinkers. Now, don't get offended. AJ and everybody else, please don't get offended. You can still be in Dinkers and still follow the cult. And y'all know what I'm about to say. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Not every Dinker, not every new gene, not every new morph, not every new mutation has to go to clown. At least not right away. At least not right away, in my opinion. What up, James P? What it do? I knew James gonna say something. I'm offended. It doesn't look, I'm not saying it should never go to clown, but it doesn't have to be the first thing you do. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be the very first thing. And I'll touch on that when I get to the next slides, because I do have 3 different thinkers that I'm working with, and I have some potential males that I want to start off with. Starting off, I'm not saying they're going to be the main thing. I'm not saying that they're going to be the only thing, but these are just the starting point, my base, because I have a female, all my dinkers, they're all females. So in order to prove a super, I'm going to need a male. In order to get a male, I'm going to have to breed them to something else to produce that male. So we're going to talk more about that, but it doesn't, you don't have to always put it to a spot nose clown to figure out if it's a real gene. That's all I'm saying. But that's the best thing about Dinkers. You have a choice. You have a choice in this. You're not following everybody else. You're not, nobody's telling you what to do. You have a choice. You have free will. I mean, you've always had free will when breeding snakes, but right now, everybody, 90%, okay, I'll be gracious, 80% of the hobby are not using their free will. They're not using their critical thinking skills. They're not using their God-given brains to think of something. They just want to see what Netflix is going to post next so they can see what combo they're going to work towards. And again, when I throw these shots, I'm not throwing shots at Justin and what he do. I'm throwing shots at the people who blindly follow and don't think for themselves. Justin is not the enemy. It is y'all who are not using your brain and want to be spoon fed. Y'all are the ones that I'm throwing shots at. I'm not throwing shots at him. I'm throwing shots at y'all, because y'all just want, let me wait till daddy post Netflix so I can know what I'm gonna do. Justin just doing what he doing. He just working what he working. And I told someone in the privately when talking, I told someone, when I watch, first of all, I don't really watch his videos unless someone posted in the group chat and say, hey, check this out. But when I look at, even when I look at his page and look at the thumbnails of his YouTube channel, it's just a catalog of clowns. You want to know what clown look like in this gene? There you go. There's a video for that. You want to know what clown look like in that gene? Here's a video for that. You want to know what clown? It's a catalog of clowns. A catalog of clowns. That's all Netflix is. That's why I love Dinkers. You have more free will. Nobody's telling you what to do with it. It is your choice. And it forces you to think. I wonder what to do with this. I wonder what to do with that. I don't know what to make of this. How can I figure this out? Dinkers are a perfect outlet for you to be creative. Sure, if you're doing this for business, and you're doing this for money, and you're doing this for, maybe you quit your full-time job and you want to work snakes and breed snakes, that is great. I'm proud of you. There are plenty, you want to breed for the pet quality and for the hobby. That's great. Do these shows in van. Have those projects, do those projects. But Dinkers let you be more creative. You don't have to look at morph market, because that's what everybody say. You don't have to look at morph market to see what this gene does to this, because you don't know. It hasn't been made yet. It's brand new. You ain't gonna find it on morph market. You're not gonna find your Dinkers on morph market because you're still working it. As said, I'm going hypo first. Unfortunately, clown gives it gives it the respect of the industry. That is true. That is true. That's why, and we'll talk more about this on my other slide. When I do eventually release the Kazi, I'm only releasing it to like 2 or 3 people to help expand it. They can put it to clown to give it the respect. I ain't got to do it. They can work it because they love clown. AJ is one of them. He loves clown. It's a great base for him. So to prove out the Kazi, AJ gonna be that person. He gonna be that go-to guy. I don't like ashy snakes. I don't like hypo or DG. But Ash, he's working hypo. And Ash know the difference between the good DG and the bad DG. He knows the difference between the silvery DG and the golden DG. So when that Kazi goes to him, he gonna work that. He gonna put in the work for that. So when people ask me, yo, what does the Kazi look like a clown? I'm gonna say go to Fred and AJ. What does the Kazi look like in hypo or DG? Go to Ash. Go to Mr. Malice. Don't ask me because I ain't got it in my collection. I ain't working. Now, if you want to know what it does in Blackhead, if you want to know what it does in Calico, if you want to know, you know what I'm saying? I got you. The Dark Jeans, I got you. Project Dark Mode, I can tell you what Kazi does in that shit. Paint? Or like DJ said, paint and crypto. Yeah, DJ. Yeah. Paint the world. That I'm really gonna shut people down. And the only person besides Ash is gonna get a Kazi baby out of this clutch. No questions asked. No, besides Ash, KG. Cause I'm gonna do LC Black Magic with the Kazi. Once I produce my whole back, anything extra, I'm going to the people who bless me. I'm paying it forward to the folks who bless me, who got me up in the game. But that's the thing. You can be more creative. You can do what you want. You don't have to think about spot nose clowns. You don't have to think about Pompeiis and Batmans when it's your own Dinker, when it's your own animal. You can do something different. You can create the morph that everybody goes crazy. Even though he charges an arm and a leg and a left nut, as Dylan always says, I do got respect for the crazy guy with the cosmos. I don't agree with his price tag, but I agree, Batman's. Yeah. Like, he put in the work with that thing, with that genetic. He did he played with whatever palette he wanted to play with. And guess what? I admire him because when I saw him on KG and Joffy's live, he had the Cosmos 2 jeans that nobody liked. The jeans that people say are pet quality. He showed us a Cosmos Lesser, or they call it butter, same thing. A Cosmos Lesser. That snake looked better than any other thing I've seen in a long time when it comes to that type of jean. To me, I like the Cosmos Lesser than I like Cosmos Clown. When he pulled that out the rack, I said, oh, doggone it. I couldn't screenshot that picture fast enough. I probably don't even have it. Because I do be screenshotting a lot on KG and Joffy's live because that podcast disappears after. But I was like, I admire him. He threw Cosmos in the spider. Everybody said stay away from spider. He didn't care. He did anyway because that was his gene. That was his right. That was his choice. He wanted to see what it looked like in a gene that people shame and shun. And I got mad respect for that. I got mad respect for that. Again, I don't respect the price tag, but the fact that he put in the work and he played around with genes that nobody else touched, you can't help but, paint the world, yeah. Like, that's another positive. Batmines. Yep, Batmines. Another positive, which kind of piggybacks off following the cult, not following the cult and stuff, is that you have something for yourself, something that is yours, something that you can be proud of. I might not ever get famous off Kazi. Who knows? I might. I'm being optimistic, but just in case I don't, I'm very proud to be working it. I'm very proud to have that animal. Even the dinkers that aren't founded by me, because I'm never gonna take credit for these dinkers that I'm working that my friends bless me with. But the villain in the AK-47, I'm super proud of those. And I'm be proud to have those animals in my collection, those babies that I produce in my collection. It's something that I could call my own, like, hey, I did that. I'm not gonna take credit for founding those two genes, the villain and AK. Never gonna take credit. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I got them from Fred and AJ, and they got them from another guy's collection who did the work, who bought the dinkers and did the work. Never taking credit. But I'm gonna be proud of those animals. I'm more proud of those animals than the established animals that I just bought and just put two together. Like, hey, we did that. We did that. There's a sense of pride that you have something for yourself that nobody else has. And also to piggyback off that, you can be the piggyback off the Cosmos guys working, throwing Cosmos into Lesser and Spider and other, old genes that nobody play around with anymore, or they just consider pet quality animals. You can be your own mad scientist. That's what makes breeding snakes fun. That's what makes it fun. Copying someone else and creating what somebody else already did, it's it's cool, but it's not fun for me. Now I'm gonna make pies and I'm gonna make bales and I'm gonna make, the pet quality animals for the pet keepers because I'm still a pet keeper at heart. Or like what Ash say, the hobbyist. I'm still that at heart. So I'm gonna keep making those. I'm a teacher. I have students who tell me all the time, when I get older, I want a pet snake and I'm gonna buy it from you. And I have models that I do photo shoots with and music videos with. They always ask them, when are you making babies? When are you making the same snake as the one I took a picture with at that photo shoot and stuff like that? They're waiting for because I keep telling them about Morph Market. I keep telling them about breeders locally that I know. I keep telling them about, you know, if you want a pet snake, I can help you set it up. I can tell you how to get the enclosures, get that right. But you can buy from this person. They're like, no, we want to buy from you. We want a snake from you. So I got people waiting. And so I'm gonna make snakes. I'm gonna make the bales, the pies, all that stuff for those people. But I can't wait to be a mad scientist for these dinkers and for the blackheads and for the LC Black Magic. I can't wait to be a mad scientist. That's what I love. I tell people all the time, they be like, what's Project Dark Mode? Well, Project Dark Mode is where I want to make the blackest of blackest snakes without any issues. Or the black white snakes. Everybody loves the look of pandas, but everybody knows that pandas ain't perfect. Everybody knows that pandas got issues. Some pandas fail to thrive. Some don't get this big. Some don't. I want to be able to make an all black snake with no issues, no kinks, no deformities, no health issues. That's Project Dark Mode. The blackest of blacks contrasting with the whitest of whites. Maybe the real Dalmatian that could be genetically, ball python. That you don't need a recessive to make. That's what I want. Something you don't need a recessive to make. Because people are gonna say, well, why don't you just get a TSK Xanthic and do this? Or why don't you do I don't want to do all that. If I'm gonna put in the work, if I'm gonna put in the work and put in the struggle and put in the grind, I want it to be the animals I like. And most of them are codoms, if we're honest. So if I want to make that dream black snake that doesn't get gray as it ages or doesn't have issues, health issues, doesn't fail to thrive. Because even though I love blackhead, you know, I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen it ever in anybody's collection. Not saying it's not possible, but it is in the spider complex. And, you still got to be careful. You still got to be careful. So the fact that these thinkers make it to where we could be our own mad scientists, we could create our own paint palette, our own different palettes and stuff. Yeah, like Snake Man said, creativity is unlimited. Get your yeah. Why would I mean the reason why I named my company Creative Reptiles is because we're more content oriented with snakes. We're the photography, we do the photography, the photo shoots, the music videos, we do the education, we do the YouTubing, the vlogging, like that's our bread and butter. That's where Creative Reptiles um light shines the most. However, when it comes to breeding, what's the point of me calling myself Creative Reptiles if I'm not attempting to be creative? What is the point of being Creative Reptiles if I'm not pushing the envelope and going a different way and going a different lane? What's the point of being Creative Reptiles if I'm just copying someone else? What's the point of calling myself Creative Reptiles if I'm just doing if I'm just trying to be the same, do the same thing Picasso has already done, or Banksy has already done, or any artist you can think of? Go my own route. Go my own route. Be my own mad scientist. Figure something out. And if I fail, I fail. At least I can say I tried. At least I can say I tried. What if I make a super and it don't go right? The superstar, what Ash always say, helicoptering. Well, at least we tried, and at least we know. At least we attempted. But you'll never know if you keep following everybody else and doing what everybody else say do. Right. Let's see. James said, I felt honored being invited in the group to see what happens with them. Yes, me too. When AJ messaged me, I was like, little old me, not me, not Mr. Rant, not Mr. Anti-Clown Hypo DG. But yeah, shout out to the Dinker Squad. I love us. I love us. We are a good group of folks. And then lastly, the positives. People might see this as negatives, and those are the people that I'm not talking to. Those are the lazy people who don't want to put in the work. Those are the people who want to be spoon fed and told what to breed, told what to do, told what to make. For me, this is a positive. With Dinkers, especially straight out the wild, you're learning new skills, new challenges. You get new learning curves. I've been keeping ball pythons since 2015. Ball pythons are pretty much, I'm going to say, the easiest animal you could care for and keep alive. If you can't keep it alive, something's wrong. Uh, but but here's the thing. Some people are saying stay away from outback, stay away from wild caught, stay away from even captive hatch, where the mom was wild caught, but the babies were born again. Stay away from all that because it might come out sick, or it might come out this, or it might come out that. It might have parasites or something. Well, guess what? I never dealt with that before. I've dealt with a snake with RI and I got over it. Knock on wood, I've never dealt with mites. Knock on wood, I've never dealt with mites, and I pray I never do. But that that could be, with a lot of work and a lot of time, that could be rectified and fixed. And a lot of it, and it's become so normal that you can find any video on YouTube to teach you how to fix that and rectify that and change that. If you do get a snake and it got worms or parasites or something, clean it out with the assistance of a vet. Deworm it, clean it out, clean its guts, get it. But to be quite honest, I like the new challenges. I like the new learning curves. How else you gonna learn? I never thought in my wildest dream when I bought my first ball python that I never thought in my wildest dream that I would actually have to give a snake a shot injection. Never in my wildest dream did I ever thought I would have to get a needle with a syringe, stick it under the scales. Now, because I've dealt with RI twice in my 10 years of keeping, in my 10 years of keeping, I've dealt with RIs only twice. I'm a champion at that. If anybody call me, if a new keeper call me and say, "Yo, I think my snake got RI," what do I do? Whoop de woo. I can tell them what to do for right now until they get it to a vet and take it to a vet. And then once they take it to the vet and the vet gives you those syringes with the medicine to give to your snake for 2 weeks, I can easily go to their house and boop, 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 grab the snake, stick the needle under the scales, boop, boop, boop. I'm a pro at it now because I had to learn it. It was a new skill. Back in 2015, when I bought Jafar, it was not even on my forefront of my brain. Now in 2025, I can do that easily. I may not look, I'm not a certified vet, but if you give me a syringe with some antibiotics, tell me to put in a snake, I got it. I'm a pro at this now. So what's wrong with stop being afraid of new challenges, new skills, new learning curves. And if it comes up, if I get a snake straight out the wild and it got to be wormed, I'm about to learn how to deworm a motherfucker. That's gonna be a new skill I can add to my resume. Yo, I know how to give a snake a shot and I know how to deworm that bitch. Or if it's something simple, it has nothing to do with health issues, but you get a snake out the wild and it won't eat for you. And now you gotta come up with, because at first you thought, oh, I could just throw in a live Norwegian or a live ASF, and that snake's been so used to eating birds and other small mammals from Africa. No, you got to be creative now. Now you got to come with something different. They don't know what this American rat is. What the hell is this? What is this? What is this thing? No, no, that ain't what I just ate. I just ate a bird off a tree before I got caught and shipped to America. You better figure it out. And now you got to figure out new skills, new challenges on how to get this snake to eat. I'm not afraid of that. People will see that as a negative. I don't. I see it as a positive. Give me give me something that makes this more exciting. Give me something to teach me a lesson. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't got to be, don't let it be tragic like, oh, this snake dies. I don't want that. I don't want, but I don't mind new challenges, learning. Yes, like State Man said, learning is unlimited. It's how you grow even more. Challenge is great. Yeah. Stop being afraid of challenges. And I think my mentality has gotten that since I got back to working out and trying to train for this damn marathon. Um, Now I love challenges. I love doing stuff that's hard. Now, granted, my Dinkers, they've been established in the US for a minute. They're not like just got out the wild yesterday. They actually been in the United States for a while. So I'm pretty blessed in that. But in the future, if I decide to go to Outback and get another Dinker, to get another, add new bloodline, even if it's just a regular normal, ain't nothing special, but just to add new bloodline, I'm ready for the challenge. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid. Always more to learn. Yeah. That's another reason why I don't like or I get pet peeve. What up, Pat? Thanks for tapping in. I saw you coming in. And Brian, thanks for tapping in. Oh, and Tommy. Yes, what it do? What it do? Thank y'all for tapping in. But dang, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, oh yeah, that's why I don't like people who speak about ball pythons in absolute. Like this is just this always what it is with ball pythons. Ball pythons are always this. They're always picky eaters. They're always that. They're always this. I hate absolutes because from as far from not just my keeping experience, but my mentors, from people I know in the group chats, some of these ball pythons just be doing what they want to do, and it got nothing to do with. There's no book. Look, Kevin McCurley can write all the great books of ball pythons, and I love his book. It's great, but he can write all My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. I saw myself buffering, so I stopped talking for a minute just to make sure I was back. But like, yeah, it's like these snakes are just like any other snake species. To me, I'm sorry. Yes, personality wise, and yes, husbandry wise, snakes are different, different snake species. But ball pythons, if you actually pay attention to them and you actually interact with them outside of cleaning and feeding and breeding, if you actually take them out and let them explore and give them enrichment, you can see that they are smarter than a lot of people get them credit for. I know some small python snakes. The females, they are picky about the men that they want. You can't just throw any male in. My mentor's got one right now. She tried to kill every male they threw at her, except for one. There's one male she's in love with. If you can't tell me that snake, and these snakes are so smart. Everybody talks about when snakes they lay eggs and they roll the bad egg out. Now, every once in a while, that egg will hatch to fruition, but for the most part, either that egg goes bad or the baby comes out fucked up. It's because the mom knows. She knows which egg ain't gonna go. These snakes are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. There's a reason why certain males will not breed with certain females. They know she crazy. They say, oh hell no. See, they know better than us humans. We sit around and sleep with the wrong woman, and now we got 18 years stuck with her crazy ass because we done got her pregnant. These snakes know. I'd rather not even lock with you because you ain't the one. You ain't the one for me. Nah. Leave me alone. Or the female retains the sperm and hold on to it for later, and she don't go, and then you breed her to another snake, and then she pop out with eggs, and it end up being the first snake that you bred her with that she didn't go because she was like, "Yeah, the second boy you gave me, I don't want him to be daddy. Mm-mm. Nah, I'd rather just use the I'd rather use the sperm from the first guy than the second guy." Like these animals know more than what we give them credit for. Nature, they know what they want, they know what they don't want, they know what ain't good for them, they know when the egg is bad, they know. We just don't listen to them because we dumb. We the ones sleeping with females or males, who however you go, that we know bad for us. We know they bad for us. We see the red flags, we just ignore it. The snakes, they can sense the pheromones, the red flags, and they're like, nah, we ain't locking. You ain't locking with me, I ain't locking with you. Nah. And matter of fact, if you in this tub a little bit longer, if that breeder don't get you out this tub in 2 seconds, you better be dead. It's happened. I'm just saying, snake man. I'm just trying to be positive. Okay, back at I'm just trying to keep it real. Back at the Dinker. So I talked about the positives. Ash and other people in the chats, James and other people, Fred and AJ, sorry, mainly AJ was in the chats, and they talked about their points positive of Dinkers. Now let's talk about the three that I'm working with. So everybody knows Matangi. That's my girl. I took her out yesterday outside because the weather was perfect. I took her outside and got some sunlight photos, let her touch the grass. She's actually coming out her shell. When I first got her, she would ball up and hide her face and would not interact and would hiss. She not even hissing no more when I go in her tub. And she started to crawl on me and stuff and be like a regular pet snake. I love my tongue. She getting better. She getting better with her personality. She no longer hiding her face all the time. But she's the blackhead yellow belly AK-47 dinker. And we believe that the AK-47 dinker is definitely a granite gene, but it also interacts well with dark genes. It has a dark tone to it. And so I'm super excited about that. She's not ready to go this year, but definitely next year, most likely she's gonna go. Um, and I'm just super pumped. I'm just super pumped to expand the AK-47s. Other people in Dinker Squad got their AK-47s and they're excited. Fred and AJ are breeding more. I think they're gonna have some eggs soon. Hopefully, they're on egg watch for some AKs. So be on the lookout. We gonna do it big. We're gonna put in the work, and when we put in the work and get these combos out, we're gonna do it big. But I'm super pumped with the AK-47. So shout out to my girl Matangi. Then we have Regina, the villain dinker. Now, AJ said the AK-47, the Black Cat seem very reactive. Yeah, they do. They do. They glow. They glow nice together. They go well together. Um, the villain now the villain, it has multiple different characteristics to it. I love the head stamp. The head stamp is so nice. It's like a three crown thing. Um, and then of course the dorsals, the dots, the repeated dots, that happens a lot in it. And there's some other characteristics that AJ are better at explaining than me, but I can't wait to uh work with her more, especially Project Dark Mode, because I feel like maybe if we, and even some granny jeans like the nanny and stuff. I feel like if we throw like busy pattern, like the nannies of the world and stuff like that, and maybe some a little bit darker, I really feel like, I could be wrong. I really feel like that head stamp will glow a little more. And then the dots on the back will react a little more. That's just me. We'll see. We're gonna work it out. Like I said, they working on it. They working on breeding, and we got some other people who got some of the villain in their collection. They already got the villain and clown. It's already been proven. They got some hits, stuff like that. So we're just gonna throw it into some other things that hasn't been touched yet. So I'm just super excited about the villain. So shout out to Regina. Now, the moment y'all been waiting for, and I ain't got her yet, but I will be getting her in a couple of weeks or so. Um, and I'm paying her off. I can't wait. I cannot wait. But shout out to Ash. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to Ash. Shout out to Mr. Malice, Morph Mindy. That man hooked me up and blessed me. First of all, he the reason why I have more faith and stop being afraid of Outback, and stop being afraid of Dinkers and animals out of Africa. But he hooked me up and got me one of the best thinkers I've ever seen in a long time. We call it Malice's cousin, and that is the Kazi. I'm premiering it right now. The Kazi. That's what I'm calling it. That's my project, the Kazi project. Now, depending on what Google you look at, because I Googled different ways. Kazi is an African term, and some definitions is it means respect, which I like. But the main definition that I saw that I liked, it means to shake up or disrupt. So that's why I chose that name. Because look at her. I feel like she's going to be doing a lot of disruptions in the future. She's going to be doing a lot of shaking up. And she's going to earn us some respect. The Dinker Squad some respect. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's my gene that I am. That's my project that I'm working. And once she's gonna prove it out. I'm gonna stop saying if she's going to prove out. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm speaking into existence. And my eyes know. My eyes are they work. They work. She's going to prove out. But she will be known as the Kazi gene. So whether you want to say the respect gene or the shake up gene, the disrupt gene, she's the Kazi gene. And I decided to use an African deity, an African goddess as her name, because she's from Africa, and that is Oya. Oya is an African deity. And I just thought that was real cool, real cute, real simple. So that's going to be her name, because she is a goddess straight from the motherland. Shout out to Africa. Shout out to West Africa, to be specific, Ghana, Benin, and Togo. But Oya is the goddess of storms, winds, birth, and change. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Oya is the goddess, African goddess from Yoruba mythology. She is the goddess of storms, winds, rebirth, and change. So the Kazi, meaning respect or meaning to shake up, and her name Oya, she's a goddess. She's going to change things. She's going to rebirth these thinkers. She's the goddess of storms and winds. You see what I did there? So I premiered it to y'all right now. And when Ash send her to me, we're gonna do an exclusive unboxing video for YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. But it's happening, y'all. It's happening. It's happening. We doing it. We doing it big. And like I said, because I was blessed with this opportunity, I'm going to pay it forward. So whatever babies she produce, the first person that's going to get the call is Ash. And then when I can't do it right now, but when I eventually 2 years from now bring her to the LC Black Magic, the first person who gonna get the call is Ash and KG. You know what I'm saying? And then if we produce her to some of that AK, because eventually I'm gonna get a male or that villain, you already know. You already know. After I get my holdbacks, you already know. Fred and AJ gonna get that call. I'm gonna pay it forward to the people who blessed me and got me in this, who got me into the Dinker Squad, who got me falling in love into breeding reptiles. Cause I never always wanted to breed reptiles. I'll take that back. I was against breeding for a long time. But once I got into it, it was because of the dark genes. It was because of the blackheads combos. It was because of the LC Black Magics. It was because of all those different combos that at the time I didn't see a lot of, because all I kept seeing was clowns, hypos, and DGs. All I kept seeing was orange dreams and whatever, all these different combinations that are now normal to us. I didn't, and so when I saw my first blackhead combo, when I saw my first LC Black Magic combo, I was like, whoa, what was that? Like it just shocked me. It shocked my shock waves. And it inspired me to say, hey, I think I want to breed. And now here we are, adding breeding to Creative Reptiles repertoire. And the Dinkers is what's keeping me inspired, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Before Dinker Squad, before I was blessed with this opportunity, there were so many times where I wanted to quit because I felt like an outcast. I felt like an outsider. I felt like none of my opinions matter. And I was just battling an uphill battle, because whenever I'm in these group chats, whenever I'm talking to other breeders, or whenever I go to a reptile show and people are like, oh, what are you working? What projects are you working? And I said anything except clown, DG, or hypo, they look at me like I'm crazy. Or they say, why would you do that? Why would you, like, are you serious? You need those because those are staples. And so, and everybody kept talking about money, this, money, that, money, this, money, that. So it got to the point where I was starting to get turned off by breeding. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, especially last year. Last year, I really was getting turned off by breeding. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to the photo shoots and educational shows. Like, fuck this shit. I don't want to do this no more. Y'all can have it. Y'all, I'm over it. But then I got into Dinker Squad. Then I got into, well, first I had got into the Bond Projects Patreon, and I started seeing more and more like-minded people like me. And then I got the opportunity with the LCs, and then I got into the Dinker Squad. And the first thing that AJ said when he invited me to be a part of Dinker Squad was, we want you to do what you want to do with this Dinker. We want you to go whatever lane rat you want to go. And that was like a breath of fresh air, because I was like, thank God I ain't got to buy a clown for this girl. Thank God I ain't got to do this. Thank God I ain't got to buy no hypo combos to breed this. Like, the fact that he said, we want you to be a part of this and we want you to go the route you want to go, I was like, bet. And y'all really lift my spirits, and y'all gave me more. Y'all made me love this more. That's the positive of Dinker Squads. It makes a person like me, an individual like me, who doesn't like to follow the crowds. I didn't feel like an outsider anymore. I found my people. Like, yes, people work at clowns in the Dinker Squad. Yes, people work at hypos in the Dinker Squad. Yes, people work at DGs, but they don't care that I'm not doing it. They're not trying to convince me to do it. They're not saying, but what about this or what about that? And there's, even though, yes, they do run a business and they do want to make money, they want the snakes to pay for themselves. They're not shoving it down my throat to where I'm an idiot because that's not the route I want to go. They never shame me to not want to be all about the money. They never shame me to not want to do what everybody else is doing. They don't shame me. Yeah, we crack jokes with each other all the time. They post a hypo, I put the lotion bottle in, and they'll be like, when we breed this, we gonna send it to you. Like, we crack jokes on each other all the time, but it's not serious. We're a family. And They don't say I'm crazy or I'm dumb because I choose to not work those particular genes. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Snake man, you a fool. The ghost. Thank you, AJ. Thank you. I think it's a perfect name too. I just think it works well. It works well. Let's see. I feel like Villain and Bullet are going to work together well. Yeah, those two thinkers together. I agree. I feel like they gonna look nice together. The way they interact. Cause even the single jeans, I can look at the single jeans and I'll be like, oh yeah, that might. Yeah, I agree that might work. That might do good. So I can't wait to see what y'all do with those. And I think maybe along the line, because one is a baby right now, but along the line, you know, the villain AKs like mixing these thinkers up might be the route to go versus mixing. I mean, we're still gonna do it, but mix it with the established genes. We're still gonna do the established genes because you got to be able to prove it out and stuff like that. But I think it's gonna be way more fun mixing dinkers to dinkers. It's gonna be way more creative and fun. Individuals definitely get looked at crazy a lot. Or so I've heard. Yeah, I get looked at crazy all the time. When I was at Southeast Reptile Expo and I was at someone's table, I can't even remember their name. They weren't known to me. They weren't anybody that we know personally, but they was like, "Oh, you look at this? You looking it for a ball python?" I said, "I'm just looking around, because at that time I was like, damn, every table got clown. Like, can I find a snake that ain't got clown in?" And he said, and the gentleman said, "Well, what are you working? What are your projects?" I was like, anything that's not clown, DG, or hypo. And the look on his face. I know I either shocked him or pissed him off or both. Just by saying that. But hey, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. It's just not my taste. Just not my taste. Nothing like the right connections, especially people. Yes, the people in this hobby can make or break it. I feel like a lot of people get out the hobby not just because it could get overwhelming, especially when you have 200, 300 plus snakes, and then you're also breeding rodents for the snakes and stuff. But and then also life situations. Some people have really dealt with some bull, like health issues and loss of job and stuff. I'm not talking about them, but I feel like some people get out the hobby are kind of like how I almost got out the hobby. It was because the people. They were just turned off by the people. The people were just getting on their damn nerve. They're like, you know what? I'd rather not be in this shit. If I'm gonna deal with toxic folks, I could go back to dog breeding or whatever. Or I can go do some nerd. I could go be a part of a nerd group like a Dragon Ball Z or Dungeons and Dragons group where I can still do what I love, but I ain't gotta deal with feeding an animal, or feeding multiple animals. Because the people can really make or break this stuff for us. It really can. If what you are doing works for you, you ain't wrong. Facts. Facts. Facts about that. Big facts. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I really wanted when I was contemplating on what would be the month of March's topic for Snake Prince Live. And it's just been on my mind. These thinkers have been on my mind ever since I've been a part of Dinker Squad. I've been thinking and dreaming more about these Dinker snakes than I have anything else. Anything else. Like besides LC Black Magic, like I still love that snake. Um, and blackhead's gonna always be a staple in my collection no matter what. So any project I do is gonna be some sort of blackhead in it at some point. But I just really Dinkers have really been on the forefront of my mind. It's just really been, a good outlet, a good positive outlet. Before we go, speaking of, let me do something right quick. I want to shout out the man of the hour. Um, the reason why Ash is where he's at, and the reason why now I'm at where I'm at. uh, um, and that is Yeah, it is. LC is a bad mother. Ooh, just wait till I post part 3 of my LA vlog where I was at KG's facility. The single gene blackhead is not. I mean, not blackhead. The LC single gene LC is nice. It looks like a better blackhead. Um, yeah. That's where I'm going. Shout out to Ian over at Outback for doing what he does. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Since let me stop presenting this slide. Before we finish, I had one more slide, and then we're gonna give Ian his flowers. Um, okay, so when it comes to, and I'm just putting this out, it's not set in stone. It might change because I ain't gonna lie, Fred and AJ did offer a mail to me that I mean might go to, but for right now, we still thinking, still contemplating, still mind going around in circles. But Oya needs a boyfriend because unfortunately every male, including the blackheads, including the LCs, are the males are babies. And when it comes to dinkers, okay, the positive of dinkers, in my opinion, if you got a dinker or you're working a dinker, get a male if you can, because sometimes you just can't. You just the luck of the draw. Get a male because you're able to spread those genetics to different things quicker. But you got to work with what you got to work with. Got to work with. So I got all females in all my dinkers. So right now, Oya trying to find her boyfriend. I have different options. So now I was my brain. Now listen to me. My brain was scattering, and again, this ain't set in stone. But I was like, if I want to make more Oyas, if I want to make more of the Kazi gene, what would be a better route? What would be an easier route? Especially if I want to make a male to breed back to her to try to produce a super. So for her first, because I want to do combos and I want to do supers, but because I have a female, I have to work with what I got. And I feel like I could kill two birds with one stone by, breeding her to a male with a bunch of genetics, or not a bunch, but more than one genetic. That way I could start the combos off. And then, if I get a Kazi male, breed it back to her to get the super. But I'm just thinking, just spitballing. And Ash and AJ and everybody else, y'all can tell me either in private or in public, it don't matter. But I'm just spitballing. When you have a dinker, what's the best route to go? And the dinker is female, because you can't just spread it. If you got a male, you could just spread it to multiple girls. You could get your supers, you could get, or you can attempt to get your supers faster because you threw it to multiple clutches. But when you got a female, you're kind of stuck to one clutch per season. So now that I have, we working with the Kazi project. What is the first step to making those foundation babies, those foundation animals? Because we know she's gonna prove out, and nine times, and I'm calling it right now. It's a codom. It ain't recessive. Even if we make a super, it's still gonna be like it ain't no. You can look at her. Your eyes can tell you that something is up. So, what route to go to make that male to breed back to her? So these are some options. Like I said, not set in stone, but these are some options. I could go the route that my mentors went when they had a dinker that they were trying to prove out. And of course, that dinker didn't prove to be anything, just a nice looking normal, a nice fancy normal. But they wanted to prove that out and see what was up. And so they used my guy Soren right here, who I bought from them. And he's a banger male. He's so amazing. He's an ivory super inchy. So he's super yellow belly, super ivory, super inchies. He's super yellow belly, super inchies. And they bred him to that funky normal. And all they got was just normal looking yellow bellies and inchies. No weird designs, nothing. But they were able to just say, oh, they were able to prove that female out to just be a regular normal, nothing new. So that's an option. However, there is a con to this pro. You can easily determine whether the gene is genetic, but then you're stuck with a lot of yellow bellies and a lot of inchies. Or if, let's say, because the Kazi is going to prove out, she is going to prove out. Kazi is real. But I get a clutch of eggs, 8 to 10, who knows? Uh, but all of them are yellow belly Kazis or inchy Kazis. Now, now we got to think about the whole Game of Thrones, the Hills I've Eyes, breeding siblings to siblings or baby to mom or whatever. Now you're going to be at the risk, especially if you do sibling to sibling, you're going to be at the risk of making all white snakes. You're going to be limited a little bit. You're going to have to try to breed that out. Or if you're a person who's not a fan of inchy or how inchy like widens the bands and stuff like that, if you don't like that, which I don't care, I don't mind. It's easy to prove an inchy a mile away in things, but it's just very, it's just very, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck and you're going to work harder. So he is what I'm calling the last resort male. you know, he might not ever see her, or he might. He's the last resort. Now, when it comes to having dinker females and you want to be able to prove it out, another great option is just to do breed to the classic super classic. So I have Jafar. I could easily just breed him to her and make more Kazis. And if the odds gods are with me, it ain't gonna be an all female clutch. I'm gonna get a male out of that. And the best looking is easier to determine the difference between a normal and a Kazi. So I can get all the Kazis and work them. But again, there's always pros and cons to these. Yes, it will be easy to ID the Kazis from the normals. And I don't mind keeping normals. I love normals. I'm king, classic, super classic with Bosa. However, I feel like they will make this long game even longer because it doesn't have other genetics in it. So that's the con. If you're trying to make combos with this new dinker, doing it to just a classic, super classic, the only con is I am gonna have more Kazis. That's gonna be a fact, but it's gonna be a long haul, even longer haul when it comes to breeding because you know you're just gonna have plain Kazis, normal Kazis. So I don't know. Again, I'm not saying this will never happen, but he's an option. Jafar is the backup male. Soren is the last resort because you're gonna end up with a lot of yellow bellies and a lot of inchies. Jafar is the backup. Now these are the main contenders, the main honchos. And again, y'all can tell me in private or y'all can tell me in public. I'm open to critiques and I'm open to any suggestions. Again, this dinker is a female. I can't just spread seeds out everywhere. I got to work with what I work. And either way, I'm going to have to wait. Either way, I'm going to have to put in the work. Either way, I'm going to have to grow babies up. So what's the best option? How can I get the combos, get the Kazi and the combos that I like, as well as going toward that super simultaneously? Like I can still get a male and be able to breed back to mom to make my super, but I will also still have some combos in the mix. So my number one choice, the choice I really want, and hope that they like each other, hope she doesn't reject him, and hope he doesn't reject her, is my proven breeder, Mr. Gold, right here. The first picture. I don't know if y'all can see my mouse pointing. Sorry. Mr. Gold. He is a Cypress yellow belly gold blush. I love Cypress. I don't mind yellow belly. And gold blush, it's an older gene, but I like it. It's nice. At least out of my first clutch with the pastel, they all work well. They all look good together. But also with these genes, yes, I would start off with combos, but I'm able to easily identify. We can easily identify Cypress. We can easily identify yellow belly, and you'll know the difference between a regular yellow belly gold blush and a Cypress gold blush because I have them. They were my first clutch. You can easily determine the difference between the two. So with this, you will get a reaction, an influence. You can see, I could be able to see what the Kazi reacts to cypress, how the Kazi reacts to yellow belly. I can be able to see that and start working combos and keep the ones I like. And then, with the select few, hand some off so they can work it. And we can move the project forward. And that's my choice. And also, I'm not overstacking it and doing too much to the point when I open the egg, I'm confused and I'm like, what the hell is this? It'll be less of a confusion. We can be able to ID them more. We can be able to tell, okay, this is a Kazi gold blush. This is a Kazi cypress. This is a Kazi yellow belly. This is a Kazi yellow belly cypress. We'll be able to easily identify the combos and still move the project forward. That's why Mr. Gold is my first choice, that first picture. Then we got Shade, my second choice. And the reason why Shade is my second choice and not my first choice, one, he's my first. I want Shade to be a part of this because he has blackhead in him. I got him from, shout out to Ashley and Nikita from Pip Stalkers. I got him from them because they thought he was a female. It turned out he had hemipines. So they put him up for auction at Bosa's auction. And I got him. And I want to use him because he has blackhead. And to throw Kazi in blackhead would be amazing. But here's the caveat. Depending on who you are and how much work you want to get out of it, he unfortunately has cinnamon in him. And he's black pewter. He's a blackhead, black pewter, cinnamon Mojave. So he's stacked with genes. He got a lot of genes in him. But some people are very, me included, because you can't double it up. You can't make a super cinnamon without some issues. And it also has black pastel in it. Super pastels have some issues. So that's my only issue. Had it been a female and Kazi been a male, that'd been a different story. But because it's reversed, the sexes are reversed, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot of unnecessary work to try to breed the cinnamon out and to breed the black pastel out, or to be careful not to double it up, or be careful. And then what if the babies come out with Kazi? And because there are 3 different dark genes in the mix, there's blackhead, black pastel, cinnamon, 3 different dark genes in the mix. So the Kazi comes out, it has a very crazy reaction to these dark genes, but we're not able to ID or tell which one it is. We won't know. I'll have to do a lot of shed testing. Hey, Charlie gonna get all my money because I'm gonna have to try to figure out, is this a blackhead Kazi? Is this a black pastel Kazi? Is this a cinnamon Kazi? You know what I'm saying? That's why he's not my first choice. All these males up here are ready to go. They got hemipines out the wazoo. They sperm just been sitting in the dust. They smell these females and they like, we ain't got nobody to go with us. That's why they're the starting lineup. Because all my other males, all my other blackheads, my LC, Black Magic, they still growing up. We still got another 1.5, 2 years for some of them. So that's why I picked the males I picked as possibles. But again, they're not set in stone. AJ and them told me about a male they got. I might have to buy him and he be the one. Who knows? There's no telling. But for right now, based off the collection I have, the animals I have, Mr. Gold is number 1, the Cypress Mojave Gold Blush, because we will get into some combos and it'll be easier to ID. Shade will be number 2 choice because of that blackhead. And because we will have, again, multiple combos in the Kazi gene. But again, the downfall is trying to go for the super, and we cannot double up that black pastel or that cinnamon. And the Oz gods, I could pray that I just get a Kazi blackhead, and the Oz god would give me no Kazi blackheads and give me all black pastels or cinnamon Kazis. And then we all in trouble. That'll be just the Oz guys. And then we can always do the normal classic, super classic. That's the easiest route to go. Make more Kazis. But again, if the sex guys ain't in my favor and all the normals be males, and then all the Causeys be females. Then I'm stuck like Chuck because it's like, dang, I got a whole nother year of raising female Causeys. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, the last resort, soaring. Because again, kind of like shade, yes, it'll be easier to ID. It will be when them babies come out the eggs. But given the sex odds and how these odds guys be working and the ratios be working, I don't want to have, when it's time to do that whole Game of Thrones line breeding stuff, I don't want to have to struggle and worry or be confused because I done got Ivories and Super Hinchies. So those are just my thoughts. Those are just my ideas. Again, none of this is set in stone, so don't take it as this is exactly what's going to happen because it's probably not. But lastly, before we go, before I let y'all go, let me stop sharing this and let me pull up because we're going to give Ian his flowers. We're going to give him his flowers. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. I'm back. I'm back. I had to pause for the cause. Okay. Let's go ahead and give Ian his flowers. Let me present. Um, share screen. There we go. We gotta give the man his flowers. All right. So because I was lied to when I first got into this hobby, because people told me to stay away from Outback, I'm gonna do the opposite. So if anybody comes into this live later, if anybody coming to this live later and they wondering like what the heck is the Dinker, what's going on, how do I get into them, and you heard me and everybody else's arguments preaching about Dinkers, this is who we recommend you go to, and that is Outback Reptiles. So I'm going to share the screen. When you go to outbackreptiles.com, you will see this. Now Outback do breed regular in captivity animals. They, if you want some pieds, if you want some albinos, they even do geckos. They breed. They don't just work with wild caught. They have captive, born and bred in the United States animals. You can get that if you want to. However, I am shouting them out for the Dinkers, for the out of Africa. So you go to their website, Reptiles for Sale. All right, you see that? Okay, so these are the ones that are captive, born and bred. The known animals. Let's try to get down to ball pythons. Ball pythons. Get down to captive bred ball pythons. You want out of Africa. Now they do have a lot sold out. However, look at the top screen. It says, "Please bear with us. We are updating our website." They do have some shipments coming in soon. Ash knows more about that because he's in the know. That's his mentor. That's the guy who helped him out in the hobby and got him into Dinkers. The other reason why he got the malice. So, but if you look at these animals, some of these are very affordable. If you want to work a Dinker, but you're scared and you like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't prove out? Or oh my gosh, what if it's a flop? What if I fail? What if it works out? Start using that mindset. Stop using the scarcity mindset and use the abundance mindset. Start thinking of what if it does work out. So what if it does work out and you buy a Dinker? That Dinker, most of these aren't that expensive. $150. 350, 75. You can make an initial investment, raise it up to an adult, keep it, don't let it be a male, where you can spread it amongst other genes and kick off your combos. 85. What if it works out? Stop being scared. Stop thinking it won't work out. Your initial investment, 150, 85, 145, that could change the trajectory of your projects. That could change your life. That one little tiny investment. Now, there are some big investments out there. There was one that they sold that was up there, but after you see it, because I'm going to blow it up, after you see it, you're going to know why. And I feel like it was worth the price. And I know for a fact that snake is going to come up in the future, years from now. And that person who bought it is going to be one lucky man or woman. It's this one, 2,500. When I show y'all this snake, it's going to be, you're going to see why. And it's male, which means they're going to spread their gene around their collection. When I show y'all the characteristics of this snake, you're going to be like, yeah, I would pay 2,500 for that too. Look at that. And look at that. Look at that size saddles. Look at that. Look at their reaction. Look how that snake looks. And it's on both sides of the animal. Like, to me, that is worth the initial investment. But even then, you spend 2,500 on this snake, raise him up, put him in your collection, throw him in different combos, throw him to your scramblers, throw him to your orange dreams, throw him to your clowns, cough, cough, throw him to your pies, throw him to all your stuff. And see what magic comes out. See what creativity comes out of that. That initial 2,500 investment, you might, if it proves out, which I think it is, if it proves out, you will have a snake that even the cult will want to buy from you or try to take from you. You will have a snake, you will have a combo that you set the price. You can set those Cosmos prices if you want to. But you got to take the risk and you got to put in the work. That's the thing. You got to take the risk and put in the work. So shout out to Ian at Outback. Shout out to the whole Outback crew, because I know he got employees and people helping him out and partners. Shout out to all of them. And again, shout out to Ash for debunking the myth and the lies that I was told when I first got into the hobby about Outback and about Ian and their crew. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ash, for opening my eyes and taking away that fear that so many of the old heads put in when I got into this hobby. But yeah, the positives of Dinkers. Let me stop sharing. Okay. So yeah, that's it, y'all. That is it. Let's see what else y'all say. Let's go for a blackhead head. So let's see. Pizza mom. Oh, he's about the pet keepers, a pizza mom or whatever. Maybe go for a blackhead that is het or something you like, and then test for hets, and then hopefully you get to see the influence with or without while you get into your what it is. Maybe put it to a blackhead boy with a het you like and test for that. Then maybe you can see the influence and without while getting your favorite gene into a facts. That's a good option too, AJ. That is a very good option and choice. Snake Man, I can't versus I can equals overcome and win. Facts. That's why I said we gotta stop. If we want to be successful in this hobby, we gotta stop living in that scarcity mindset and that mindset of what if it doesn't work. That's why there's so many people chasing the cult and chasing the same Batmans and Pompeii combos, because it's already been proven and they don't have to do much work to get it. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of what's to come, what's not proven. They're scared to have to make a whole clutch that they got to test for. And even then, there's no test for Kazis. Just like there's no test for Malice. We get tests for the other combos we throw into them, but we can't test for the actual genes that were working, the Dinkers that were working. So We got to stop being in that scarcity mindset, y'all. We'll never succeed. We'll never be. And success is in the eye of the beholder. My success is going to be different from y'all success. Some people's success is, let me make a $10,000 jean, or let me make a $45,000 jean. That's not my success. My success is my animal. First of all, my animals able to pay for themselves. They're able to pay for their meals and they keep. But two, I want to make the snakes I want to make and that are cool to me. The snakes that got me into breeding in the first place, plus more. You know what I'm saying? And if my snakes can pay for themselves, if I can produce and sell snakes to where they pay for themselves, they pay for their food, to me, that's success for me. Because again, I'm a creative. My successful goals for creative reptiles are more on the photography side and the educational side, not really on the breeding side. So when people are like, what is success for you? It's going to be different. My success is going to be different from Pat. It's going to be different from Fred and AJ. It's going to be different from Ash. It's going to be different from DJ. It's just going to be, everybody's different. Some people are like, I want to quit my job and do the snakes full time. That's their idea of success. Be able to pay their bills and do this full time and not have to work for anybody else. That's their definition of success. And hats off to you. Some people that's not. Some people like me, I like having multiple streams of income. I don't mind. I love my job. It gets frustrating at times, but that's just because of adults and humans. But I love my job. I love what I do. I don't mind doing this until I retire. And then once I retire from teaching, then I could do snakes full time. I like snakes being a side gig, being a side job, just an extra stream of income. But that might not be somebody else's success. It is what it is. But we got to stop living in that I can't, or what if it doesn't work mindset. We got to stop that. And the best way to do that is to have fun and play with these DINKER projects. Oh, thanks, Pat. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's all I want to do. I just want to share and pay it forward, because depending on where you are in the hobby and when you got in the hobby, you were either fed a bunch of BS like I was, or, you know, you start getting help from other people who actually had great intentions and had they actually care about you succeeding, because you succeeding is also them succeeding. It was a community base. That's why I love the Whiskey Bomb Network. That's why I gravitate with people like Keys and Wiz, because they welcome people in instead of shoving people out, unlike some other people with networks. So you know, so I try to pay it forward and help share every time I learn new information. Whether people take my opinion for what it's worth, I at least want to share it and put it out there on my platforms. But yeah, that's it. Thank y'all for tapping into the live. This has been almost 2 hours long. And on a Monday. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Of course, share the link. Shout out to the replay gang. Depending on how I feel, it might be another live this month, or I will see y'all next month for these monthly lives. Snake Press Lives. Thank y'all for tapping in. Of course, you can always tap in every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central on the Whiskey Bomb Network. That's Keys Constrictors channel, for Snake Cinema Podcast, where I review movies and music and talk pop culture and stuff. Just because, look, for those who always follow my channel, and was wondering where the podcast went, we still going strong. We are almost, next week will be episode 80 of Snake Cinema Podcast. Yeah, episode 80. So we're almost at 80 episodes. I have not stopped. I have not quit. We just moved over to a network, which I love, and I appreciate Keys and them for adding me. But I'm gonna keep doing these Snake Prince lives once a month, maybe twice a month, just whenever a topic comes to my head that I really want to share and talk about. And of course, shout out to the DINKER squad, all y'all in the chats, even the ones that are not in the chats right now, but a part of DINKER squad. I love y'all. We gonna do it big. We are gonna do it big. I believe in this. I believe in these thinkers we're working, whether it's the Malice, the AKs, the Kazis, the Bullet, the Mustard. I believe in all that stuff. We gonna make it happen. We just gotta do what we keep doing, putting in the work, being a community and supporting each other. And when it's time to shake up, as Kazi is, time to shake up the industry, shake up the world, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And the fact that we do it as a group, as a unit, instead of doing it individually, I'm down. I'm down. Thank y'all. Thank y'all, Pat. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. But anywho, I'm gonna let y'all go. Hope y'all have, if y'all at work, hope y'all had a great shift and it goes by fast. Hope, if you're on your lunch break, you have a good lunch break. Thank y'all for tapping into the live. Shout out Replay Gang, everybody. And I'll check y'all out later and I'll talk to y'all later. It's been real. Okay, bet. Let me write that down because I will forget, Will. Thank you. Yes, we'll just recommended something for me to watch and review. I do take suggestions. So if you like Snake Cinema Podcast and you want to suggest a TV show or a movie or an album, hit me up. Let me know. So thank y'all. But that's it. We are out. I am done. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.